As we approach Overwatch's 10-year anniversary, it's safe to say that the events that unfolded in the story are pretty well known amongst the community. Humanity made Omnix, they went rogue, they went to war with humanity, Overwatch was formed to take him out, you get the gist. But what if I told you that someone, or something, has been pulling the strings in the background this entire time? Before we get into it, I know this isn't my usual COD zombie stuff, but if y'all like a conspiracy, hidden lore, Easter egg related kind of stuff, you're gonna love this, so stick around and drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. The Omnic Crisis started with a rogue god AI named Anubis. Its original job was to monitor the Earth and fight pollution. It found humans to be the biggest cause of pollution, so it decided we needed to be eradicated. After Overwatch helped solve the crisis, all of the god AIs around the world were quote-unquote shut down and moved to a housing island known as the Arcology. One of the god AIs that were supposedly shut down was Chernobog. The team working on it in Finland were hesitant to shut it down as they viewed it as a necessity for global security. Eventually, they were forced to shut it off by the government, and even the AI predicted its own demise. As it was shut down, the room went haywire, and it printed out the words, "I understand, I'm sorry." Chernobog was powered off, effectively killed, and moved to the Arcology Island. At least, that's what the conspiracy wants you to believe. The conspiracy is the name of what effectively is the Illuminati of the Overwatch universe. My theory is that Chernobog was saved by an insider in the Finland group, or somehow was extracted, and is now being used to this day to assist the conspiracy. Why Chernobog specifically? Well, it specialized in global security and surveillance. Think Palantir, but orders of magnitude more powerful. Why wouldn't a shadow government want something like that? What if when Chernobog printed out those papers saying "I'm sorry," it was apologizing in advance? It knew it was being turned off. What if it knew what lied ahead in its future? Especially after the release of the newest DPS hero Emre. The conspiracy haunts the narrative of the Overwatch story, leaving footprints at pivotal moments in its history. Let's go back in time to Overwatch's downfall and the explosion of the Overwatch headquarters. The general consensus was that Reaper, acting on behalf of Talon, sabotaged something and caused the explosion. But some things didn't really add up and Soldier 76 got suspicious. The look on Reaper's face as the explosion happened told them he wasn't in on it, and that Talon may not have done it. Soldier began to question everything as he searched for answers as to what really happened that day. In the short story Lucky Man, many years later, Soldier and Sombra team up as Sombra knows they're both chasing the same goal. They find the ruins of the Overwatch facility, and amongst the rubble, there's a suspicious disc. Sombra knew it was going to be there, but brought Soldier along, just so he could find it himself, almost as if she knew this would set a chain of events in motion. This disc, once scanned by Sombra, revealed a stylized eye with 3 dots above and below the pupil, the symbol for the conspiracy. She suggested that Soldier 76 start his search for what's going on in Oasis. Put a pin in Oasis as we'll come back to it later. Now you might be asking yourself, what does Sombra have to do with this? The conspiracy is the reason Sombra exists in the first place. When Sombra was younger, she began her hacking journey, starting local, doing small-time crimes. But when she started to get ballsy and go after bigger fish like politicians, corporations, and governments, she was found out. Her whole system was fried, and all that remained on the screen was that same eye symbol. At this point, she got her cybernetics and began her journey to find out who really runs the world. Sombra was close to finding something out about that shadow government. With the help of Chernobog, the security AI, the shadow government was able to stop the hack from leaking their information and expose Sombra. She probably left traces of herself since she was an amateur, and the AI was able to take that and run with it. Sombra has since joined and left Talon, but she's always had ulterior motives, using Talon as a resource to find out more about the conspiracy, and how everything is connected. She's been trying to connect the dots for a while now. Now for what I'm about to say, I don't know exactly how these connect, but she's clearly trying to get information from every part of the world. A couple examples are her blackmail on the leader of Volskaya Industries so she can be used as an informant, her exposing the dirty laundry of the Vishkar and Numerico corporations, hoping to find something along the way. She's even going as far as getting Venture's trust, as they had an artifact with an eye symbol in their possession. The fact that there's an ancient artifact with that symbol opens up a whole nother can of worms, but I won't get into it for now. For years, Sombra's been trying to uncover this web, but nothing has been revealed as of yet. Alright, now here's where we're going to tie everything together into the new Overwatch story and Season 1 Conquest. Take the things I'm going to say with a grain of salt, as I'm doing a lot of theory crafting here. I'm sure many of you know the new DPS hero Emre has something weird going on with him. Well, he's been infected by Chernobog and is being used by a conspiracy shadow government as a pawn. He has the eye symbol on his chest, and in his ult, the program takes over and he begins to speak Finnish. There are also ciphers on this page on the Overwatch website that flat out reference Chernobog, saying things like, quote, Chernobog bypass initiated. I don't think Emre really is that important to the grand scheme of things. Like I said, I think he's just a pawn and more evidence that Chernobog is alive and being used by the conspiracy. However, they definitely modified the AI. They made it so no nonsense and very aggressive. Just listen to some of these voice lines.
Gratitude confirmed. Command recognized. Consolidate unit positions. All units advance. Commence attack. Allied asset registered. Systems primed. Hostile detected.
That security position was a conspiracy, obviously, and they infected him with their modified Chernobog AI and sent him on his way. Emre would become part of Talon and only do specific operations with them, but would disappear at points during the mission and then reappear to finish it. These specific operations were near key global security command centers, such as places Overwatch was debriefed on intel. You guys see where this is going. The Shadow Government activates his Sleeper Cell AI to get info on these command centers, then deactivates it so he can finish the mission, with Emre not remembering a thing. Eventually, Talon lost track of Emre, but recently Freya was sent back to track him down and bring him back. Now, I'm not too sure about this part, but I think Sombra joined Talon after Emre disappeared, so they never met. As you may know, Sombra, Reaper, and Widowmaker pieced. They completely pieced Talon after Vendetta took over. Each has their own reason to leave, but I want to focus on Sombra's. One could have been Emre. She could have known he was infected with Chernobog and didn't want them getting too close to her again before she could solve everything. That's the easy answer though. Let's take it one step further and go to the person that wanted to re-recruit Emre in the first place, Vendetta. Sombra said she had been tracking Vendetta for years, and apparently she's gone from nothing to a global leader who's got plenty of friends in high places. My crackpot theory is that the conspiracy saw Vendetta as the perfect pawn in their little game. She was easy to manipulate as her father was murdered by Reaper and her family comes from a lot of power, so she isn't an absolute nobody. I have a feeling Vendetta doesn't even know she's being used. She probably thinks this was all her doing, but little did she know strings were being pulled in the background for her to become the new leader of Talon. Sombra may have suspected the conspiracy may have been involved in her rise to power and hightailed it out of there. Reaper's loose trigger finger was the perfect opportunity for the conspiracy to move in and gain even more control over the world. Many of the OG members of Talon left, except Maximilian and Moira. Max, I don't really know what he might be up to. He might be working directly with the conspiracy. He's always on some shady shit. I'm gonna skip him for now. But Moira is an interesting one. Along with her position on the Talon High Council, she's the Minister of Genetics at, you guessed it, Oasis, the same place Sombra told Soldier to go check out for more information. The ministries of Oasis are described as, and I quote, a collection of brilliant minds who possess many secrets that have attracted the interest of powerful organizations around the world. Alright, things are getting really fishy here. There's some sort of link between her and Oasis and the conspiracy that would keep her at Talon. Look at her face when Doomfist is defeated, as she seems calm like everything's going to plan. On the other hand, Sombra is completely panicked. The light bulbs are coming on, it's all clicking for her at this very moment. And when Doom gets thrown out the window, Moira is smiling. With Vendetta and Emre, Moira and potentially Max in a high position of power in Talon, the conspiracy have practically full control over their every move. Especially with Chernobog inside of Emre, they have access to all of Talon's data. Overwatch Season 1 Conquest is all about the fight between Talon and Overwatch. I actually think Overwatch is going to lose in the short term and have to go into some sort of hiding. Talon will have complete control over the world, but it will be unstable. Vendetta has too many cooks in the kitchen. She's working with everybody, Vishkar, the Hashimoto, the Junkers, the Deadlock Gang, plus many more organizations all with their own goals. It's a pressure cooker and it'll burst eventually, but it'll take some time. Now Doomfist is obviously still alive, no body equals not dead. I believe wherever he ends up, he'll find out a lot about the conspiracy and the general Overwatch audience will be clued in through his comeback story. I think he'll cross paths with this Detective Omnic that's going to be a new hero this year. I think this will happen in the fall at some point, towards the end of the year-long Reign of Talon story arc. This set us up for the new story arc next year. Sombra, Dooms, and Soldier 76 and remaining Overwatch agents and I guess anyone else along for the ride at this point, will join forces to take down Talon. That's if Talon is still a thing. A possibility is that once Talon has full control, it would just implode in on itself. The conspiracy also just might show their true colors and reveal themselves to the world once nobody can do anything about it. The new crew will have enough combined information on the conspiracy at this point to launch some sort of strike. But that's just some sort of speculation on where they can take the story, so it isn't Overwatch versus Talon for the millionth time. Right now there are a lot of loose ends, like what will Soldier find in Oasis? I skipped over the story arc with the Lari, but all it really says is that the conspiracy may have had a hand in her accident that wiped out all of her people. Also, that Oasis set up research facilities in Reexamining, where the tragedy went down, so do with that what you will. Another loose end is Sigma. He's locked up in Talon HQ right now, and I think he's going to play a pivotal role in the downfall of Talon. Maybe not anything with the conspiracy, but Talon crumbling, I think he has something to do with. Sombra's going to break him out, and he'll go nuts, because he's pissed, bro. He's pissed. Listen to some of these voice lines.
You toy with power beyond your comprehension. Where have you gone, my friend? Release me! You will release me!
At the end of all this, the real question is, what are the conspiracy's motivations, and why do they want all this power and chaos? We simply don't know the answer yet, and that's what makes it so intriguing. I hope you all enjoyed my ramblings, and if you did, leave a like and subscribe. If you find a hole in my theory or you want to add on to it, let me know in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time.